Well, let's put it this way. I have been obsessed with user needs for content, and my product counterparts have been obsessed with user needs for product much earlier than majority of media organizations have started even thinking that user needs are equally important for content as they are for product. So when we developed this really interesting, innovative model of user needs based commissioning at the BBC and started developing it, it probably was one of the most important things in my career to date. And we can talk a little bit about how it was developed and why it was important. But what really was even more important is that how many companies have started moving on to that model themselves after that. So when I joined Culture Trip, I was delighted to see, and hopefully I was hired there because they knew my background in user needs, and they had very specific structure around user needs based commissioning for travel content at that time. And then I started collecting those user needs models, and Vogue International experimented with it. Wall Street Journal has a model of user needs. TRT, the Turkish broadcaster, has a model of user needs. All of these companies, they realize that once you are very committed to satisfying user needs, both on product and content side, wonderful things happen because you are immediately getting rid of all the rubbish that, how you would know from your experience that majority of media organizations are drowning in their own waste in terms of overproduction, that they produce so much stuff and only maybe 20% of it really is impactful. But when you have user needs, everything that you do starts with user needs. Like your first newsroom conversation in the morning meeting is not about, we should do that story, but actually how we should do that story and what user need it is going to satisfy. And that's incredibly liberating way of thinking. And even when we developed that model at the BBC, we were launching 12 new teams around the world at that time. A Serbian team, Korean team, several teams for India and Africa. And we even launched their products, their digital presence, based on user needs model. So actually the sites themselves was signaling to the audience that this content is about this user need and that user need and that user need. And I think we're only starting with this, because if you start adding data analysis into that model, then you really can optimize. And that's what our product friends have been doing all the time. They have been optimizing since the start of the internet.